It's 4:30 in the morning. There's no alarm, no phone, no snooze button, just a rooster, and the feeling that if you don't move right now, your family doesn't eat today. Welcome to your Tuesday. In the year 1312, you are not a knight, not a lord, not anyone interesting. You are a peasant, and this is your entire life. Here's what most people think medieval life looked like: dirt, disease, darkness, misery, and yes, some of that is true. But here's what nobody tells you. In some ways, the medieval peasant had a relationship with time that we have completely lost. And by the end of this video, you might actually envy one or two things about their day. Just one or two. The rest was genuinely terrible. You wake up before sunrise every single day. Not because you're disciplined, because light is expensive. Candles cost money. Firewood costs money. Darkness is free. So you work with the sun, and you sleep with it too. Breakfast, if you can call it that, is yesterday's bread. Hard, stale, sometimes with a thin soup if it was a good week. No coffee, no sugar, no options. You eat it standing up because the day has already started without you. Now here's something interesting. Medieval peasants actually ate 2 meals a day, not 3. The idea of breakfast, lunch, and dinner as 3 separate events. That came much later. For now, you eat when there's food. And you stop eating when there isn't. Simple, brutal, efficient. By sunrise, you're already in the field. And you will stay in the field for the next 8 to 10 hours. No weekends. Not really. Sunday is technically a rest day. But there's always something. Animals to feed, tools to fix, wood to chop. Rest, in the medieval sense, means doing slightly less terrible work. But here's the part that might actually surprise you. Medieval peasants had more holidays than you do. The Catholic Church mandated around 40 to 60 feast days per year. Saints' days, religious festivals, seasonal celebrations. On those days, no field work, church in the morning, community in the afternoon. The medieval calendar was, in a weird way, more generous with collective rest than the modern 5-day work week. Don't get too excited though. On every other day, you are essentially a human plow. Everything you grow, you don't fully own. A portion goes to your Lord as rent because you live on his land. A portion goes to the church as tithe, 10%, non-negotiable. A portion goes to local taxes. What's left is yours. And what's left is usually just enough to survive until next harvest. This is the feudal system in practice. Not a political theory. Just your life. Work hard, give most of it away, repeat until you die. Which, statistically, happens around age 35 to 45. Midday is your one real break, maybe an hour, maybe less. You eat your second meal, usually the bigger one, pottage, which is basically a thick stew of whatever vegetables survive the week. If you're lucky, a small piece of preserved meat or fish. If it's a bad season, just the vegetables. If it's a really bad season, just water with grain boiled in it. You don't think about macros, you think about surviving until spring. And yet, here's the psychological twist. Studies on food satisfaction show that hunger makes everything taste better. The medieval peasant who finally sits down with that bowl of pottage at midday, neurologically, that hit of relief and satisfaction might have been more intense than anything on your delivery app right now. Not better food, better contrast. As the sun drops, the day ends. Not slowly, abruptly. Darkness means danger outside and wasted candles inside. You gather with your household, usually extended family, 3 generations in 1 or 2 rooms. You talk, you tell stories. Someone might play a simple instrument. This is entertainment. This is your Netflix. And here's the thing, it required other humans. There was no passive consumption. Every evening was, by necessity, social. Sleep in the Middle Ages was not what you think. Historian Roger E. Kirch discovered that pre-industrial humans slept in 2 separate shifts. For sleep, sunset to around midnight. Then they'd wake up for an hour or 2, pray, think, talk to a spouse, sometimes visit neighbors. Then second sleep until sunrise. This was completely normal. Segmented sleep wasn't a disorder. It was the default human sleep pattern for thousands of years. The pressure to sleep 8 uninterrupted hours? That's an industrial revolution invention because factories needed workers on a fixed schedule. So if you wake up at 2 a.m. and can't fall back asleep immediately, you're not broken. You're medieval. So what does a medieval peasant's day actually teach us? Three things. 1. Scarcity creates intensity. They didn't have much, but what they had mattered completely. 2. Community wasn't optional. Every evening required other humans. Loneliness was structurally impossible. 3. The body has its own rhythm. And for most of history, humans actually followed it. We built a world of infinite choice, artificial light, and solo consumption. And then we wondered why we can't sleep, why we feel empty, why nothing feels like enough. The peasant didn't have your problems. He had much worse ones. But a few of his answers might still work. If this made you think differently about your own daily routine, subscribe, because next week we're going even further back. Imagine waking up 50,000 years ago. No language, no farming, no rules. Just your tribe, a fire, and something moving in the dark outside. How did your ancient ancestors spend their day? And why does your brain still think you're one of them? That's next.